Okay, so this is the second video. Here's the basics of how it works. There's basically two types of exercise: high intensity and low intensity. This would be sprinting, this would be walking, yoga, stretching. This is playing basketball, interval training, hopping, stairmaster, hardcore, and this is very low, so you're barely breathing. You actually can't go with the pulse rate because if the nervous system is broken, your pulse rate might be low, but you're huffing and puffing. So I'd rather go based on your own subjective feeling, how hard it is, and go by your breathing, basically. So low intensity workouts, you can actually talk to someone while you're walking comfortably. Here, you can't. You're huffing and puffing, okay? So this is called without air because it's called anaerobic without air because you're actually burning more sugar, and I'll explain that in a second. This is called aerobic exercise. Now, people get confusion because there's two definitions of aerobic. One is aerobic type workouts, which you're jumping around, high intensity, but then the other definition is the type of exercise that uses a lot of oxygen. So it means aerobic means with air, low intensity. So when you low intensity walking, you're actually doing aerobic type workouts, okay? So high intensity, low intensity. Now, both of these do burn sugar and both of them do burn fat, but let's start with the low intensity right here. The body will burn up. Remember we talked about the sugar calories being like 1,500 calories? All that's burned within the first 25 minutes of walking. After the 25 minutes of walking, then the person will start burning fat. It's not a lot of fat, but it's a little fat. And it's still good to do. So people that work out 30 minutes a day really only burn 5 minutes of fat burning, or have 5 minutes of actual fat burning going on. So if you're going to walk, you might as well walk 45 or maybe 60 minutes. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with walking in the beginning because you want to, the key is not overtraining. The advantage of doing this is because this is how you reduce stress. Low intensity workouts are really better for stress than high intensity because it's very relaxing to the body and you're increasing a lot of breathing, oxygen without the stress. See, when you go through stress, you deprive yourself of oxygen. So this is a way to get the oxygen into your body and actually protect your heart. This is nothing wrong with high intensity, but it has to do with your ability to tolerate it and handle it. Many people don't have the ability to handle hardcore workouts. So for everyone in this program, they're going to start out walking and you're going to gradually increase to high intensity over time. So with low intensity workouts, you will not burn any fat for the first 25 minutes. Then, after that, you will burn actual fat. So, in other words, let me get this straight here. The first 25 minutes, you'll burn sugar, and then after that, you will burn fat. So, again, if you're going to walk for at least an hour. All right? And I like the idea of walking outside and not with headphones, just looking at stuff and relaxing and having a good time as compared to trying to think about everything. You want to turn that off a little bit. Okay, now the high intensity, it will also burn sugar immediately. So it's burning up all the sugar, but you can't really do high intensity for a long period of time because your sugar will go out and then this will turn into a byproduct called lactic acid. Okay, so sugar turns lactic acid. That's why your muscles get really painful and burning because of that lactic acid. So the more sugar that you burn, the more acid you will generate, and then acid decreases oxygen in the body. All right? So, can you burn fat with high intensity? Absolutely, but it only occurs 14 to 48 hours after the workout during the deep sleep. Okay? So again, the most fat that you can burn with all exercise is really right here. High intensity. I'll show you how to do it in a little bit, but it doesn't happen right away. It's delayed when you're sleeping, if you're sleeping. And there's certain barriers that occur that stop you from doing that, but the point is that depending on what you're doing And depending on the intensity is really the key thing between everything. And this fat is burned through hormone interaction. Anyone can burn sugar, but to burn fat takes a very specific condition in the body. And we'll get into the next video. But I just wanted to show you the difference between high intensity, low intensity, and how it works.